As you've heard, my war cry really has been back to the basics, trying to focus on three key things: improve customer service, enhancing our image, and maintaining a strong financial health. It hasn't been easy with this economy and with cuts in state funding. We have dealt with this through this reduced funding through reduced expenses. We've consolidated, we've reorganized. Our staffing, which was 3,100 in 2000 when I arrived here, is now 2,650. So we've certainly done our part to try to be leaner and meaner. Through decisive management actions, we've reduced our annual budget by $25 million. Some of the restructuring is focused on the better utilization of our rail system, something we hope will be even better utilized in the future. When I came here in 2000, about 10% of our customers took the rail, but it was about 20% of our cost. There are several reasons for that, what we consider low utilization. First, RTAs historically, our bus routes competed with our rail lines. In most cities that have bus and rail, the rail system is used to feed the bus system is used to feed the rail system. Here we did not do that. We basically competed with each other, and that really isn't good sense. In Toronto, for example, 80% of their bus routes end at a rail station. If you want to continue downtown, you come downtown on the train. Today, and continually, more and more of RTA's bus routes are now ending at rail stations, ending at rehabilitated rail stations, I should add. Secondly, historically, we always charged more on the train than on the bus. And all things being equal, our customers are very, very savvy. They would take the least expensive alternative. I remember one of my first few weeks here, I was concerned that I was seeing the waterfront trains not as full as I hoped, and they go through the Muni lots where thousands of people park every day. So I went out there one morning, I saw people getting out of their cars, and 95% getting on the bus that was there instead of the train. So I asked, why are you getting on the bus? And they said, because it's cheaper. Made sense to me. So we've changed that recently. So now the fare is the same on the bus and the train. And thirdly, one of the reasons historically has been because unlike many major systems with rail, we only have one downtown train station. We have a wonderful train station. It might be the best in the country, but it's Tower City, but it really is only that one train station. If you work around Public Square, it's very convenient, but if you don't, it might not be. To help mitigate this issue, we worked with downtown businesses and started our downtown trolleys in April of 2006 to kind of be that downtown distribution system. And the trolleys have done just that. In the first month of their operation, as they replaced the old downtown bus loop system, they carried about 800 people a day. After the first year, about 3,000 people a day. And today they're carrying 4,000 people a day. Tremendous, tremendous success. And they're being seen as one significant asset for those who both live and work downtown. What was mentioned before is our marketing program and our customer service program said ride happy or ride free. The fare on the trolleys, as you may or may not know, is smile and ride free. And people have asked me quite often, well, what happens if I don't smile? And my answer is always the same: if you don't smile, you can't ride. We really want happy people on those trolleys. The fares really aren't free. The fares are super subsidized, and this year Dollar Bank is subsidizing the fares on those trolleys, and I want to thank them for their generosity. So why have the trolleys been so successful? I think there's four basic reasons. Number one, the vehicles are cute, they're identifiable, they're unique. I think that's a major impact. The routes are simple. They serve the major employment areas, the major retail areas, the major restaurants and bars downtown. They're frequent, they're every 10 minutes. And lastly, and probably most importantly, we really have RTA's best of the best operating those trolleys. We went through several painstaking processes to really find those that were the most customer friendly to operate those and to interact with the public continually. Since we've made these changes to try to enhance and bolster the rail system, in addition to making significant investments in upgrading the cars and upgrading the signaling and upgrading the tracks, we've seen a 50% increase in the rail side of our business. On the bus side, we spent a lot of time and a lot of resources transforming what was once the oldest transportation bus system in the country in the early 2000s to one of the newest in the country by replacing over 400 new buses. They are newer, they are cleaner, they're more reliable, they're more comfortable, and I think that's making all the difference in the world. With a great board of trustees and a great staff, we've made some great strides in improving our quality of our service. Over the last few years, we realized a 24% increase in on-time performance, a 14% improvement in safety, a 20% increase in customer satisfaction, and as was mentioned, last year was a banner year for us, winning 3 major awards. We won an award from the Federal Transit Administration for our ridership initiatives, We won the Smart Business Lexus World Class Customer Service Award, which I thought was kind of neat for a bus company. And we won the APTA Best Transit System in North America Award, which in our industry is kind of the Super Bowl. Something that my staff will tell you is kind of the gauntlet I laid down the first month I was here in 2000. We need to win this award, and we did. Our latest challenge, as was also mentioned, the significant cost of petroleum, is something many people thought would be phenomenal for RTA and phenomenal for public transit. Yes, ridership is up. Last month we were up 6%, but our fuel cost is up much more than that. RTA paid $4 million for diesel fuel in 2003, $12 million last year, and we'll spend $20 million this year. The bottom line is where passenger revenue might bring in another $2 or $3 million, out the other end, out the tailpipe, is diesel fuel increasing at $8 to $10 million. With rising capacity issues, and I'm getting calls every day about buses and trains being overcrowded, and customers asking that we add more buses and trains, budgetary necessities may cause us to reduce service, which makes absolutely no sense at all. The same business model exists in the airline industry and the trucking industry. The airlines call it reducing capacity, not cutting routes. I like that number. So we're going to start reducing capacity. And adding fuel charges, maybe we can charge for blankets and pillows as well, but again, they're suffering from this phenomenon as we are. To compound this perfect storm, RTA and the other 59 public transit systems in the state have experienced a 63% reduction in state funding under the previous administration. While the typical state provides 23% of the funding for public transit in that state, Ohio provides less than 3%. Between 1996 and 2005, over that 10-year period, the typical state increased its funding to public transit by 130%, while Ohio reduced it by 40%. This reduction has led to major cuts in all areas in the state. Actually, we've been very fortunate in Cleveland because of that local sales tax. We've cut our service about 8%, while Youngstown's cut their service 50%, Akron 32%, and Dayton 17%, and more cuts are coming. As you heard a few weeks ago, things look pretty bleak for RTA and its customers. We held several public meetings. They were very, very well attended. And these meetings were about a proposed plan to balance our budget for next year that would have possible service cuts or capacity reductions in airline lingo and a fuel surcharge. Thousands came and literally begged us to find alternatives. We heard how people would lose their jobs, would lose their homes, and how employers would lose access to their employees and their customers. How low-income individuals would have no other way to get to work, to the grocery store, or to church. And at no point in my 30-plus year career have I felt so much need for our service. We often try to justify what we need to do logically. We had that discussion before. And I said, well, geez, if the population of the county is reducing and the population of the city is reducing, is it bad to reduce our services? What we found out is that even though the population may be reducing, those with the most need are those that are remaining. And there are a larger percentage of those that are remaining. So it was a really phenomenal process that we went through. The great news is that Governor Strickland came through with some temporary assistance. We have been working with the governor since before he was governor on this issue, and he gets it, he really understands. As a matter of fact, he increased funding for transit in his initial budget, only to have those funds taken out through the budget deliberation process. But the relief, we hope, is on its way. It should be approved by the NOACA board on September 12th. Again, like things are happening around the state at the governor's request, and he made a very strong request of the MPOs in the state. And this relief, although temporary, will be redistributed statewide and should give us about a 10 to 12 month lead time. During that time, we must work together in preparation of the state budget and ask the legislature to restore the funds that were cut. If a permanent solution is not found, what we just heard about a few weeks ago will happen next year. We simply have no option. The governor has also put together a transportation task force for the 21st century.